Philadelphia News, team of my heart.
You're not going to believe this. The guy nobody wanted to see back in a Sixers jersey might be heading to the last place you'd expect. And no, this isn't just a joke between friends at the barbershop or trash talk on Reddit. This is real, and it's stirring something deep in you, whether you want to admit it or not. You know exactly who I'm talking about, don't you? Or do you? Here's the challenge. I won't say his name yet, but I want you to comment down below the exact moment when you realized who this news is really about. Let's see who figures it out first. Now, imagine this. You're scrolling through Sixers news, looking for that next big trade move or free agency pickup, hoping for signs of real progress, and suddenly, bam, whispers surface about him. The name alone brings back the taste of disappointment, the missed potential, the viral memes. But what if I told you that those whispers aren't coming from Philly this time? What if the buzz is coming straight from one of your greatest rivals? Yeah, breathe that in. Let me ask you something. How would you feel if the very player that left a bitter taste in your mouth ended up wearing the colors of your most hated enemy? Would it be funny? Would it sting? Or would it just feel poetic? Because sometimes the league writes stories even more dramatic than the ones we imagined. And this storyline, my friend, it's got all the makings of a punchline wrapped in a plot twist. See, you've lived through the frustration, the awkward exits, the cold media-trained interviews. You were there when it all fell apart, when promises turned into silence, when hype turned into heartache. And now? Now you're being told that this same player, whose career has spiraled downward with injury after injury and vanishing confidence, might be looking for a fresh start, but not just anywhere, in that city. You know the one. Bright lights, big egos, bigger headlines. Let's be real, you don't want to feel anything for this anymore. But you do. You're invested. Because this isn't just about one player. This is about you. About what it means to wear that Sixers badge and carry every win and every loss like it happened in your own living room. This is about pride. And when Sixers news drops something like this, you don't scroll past. You click, you react, you feel. But here's the thing that makes this so wild. Not long ago, some voices, not loud, but persistent, started to stir. They said, what if we bring him back? Cheap contract, low risk. Maybe there's something still there. And I know what you're thinking. Seriously? After everything? And you're right to think that. Because when you look at this current Sixers squad, stacked with new blood, rising potential, and a head coach like Nick Nurse, who's got no time for the circus, there's barely room for nostalgia. There's only room for progress, only room for impact, not drama. But still, somewhere out there, a team sees value. A team sees fit. And this team? Let's just say it makes the whole story 10 times juicier, because they're not just anyone. They're the team that would love nothing more than to stick it to Philly fans and laugh doing it. So while you sit there watching all this unfold, ask yourself, how would you feel seeing this player line up across from your Sixers, wearing that uniform, in that arena with that crowd cheering for him? Because it might actually happen. And it's not just noise anymore. This is real Sixers news. This is a real trade possibility. And you've got every reason to be curious, concerned, and maybe, just maybe, a little amused. And no, I'm still not saying the name. You've waited, you've speculated, you've been piecing the clues together, and I know it's all starting to feel too real now. Because this isn't just some name buried deep in the Sixers news cycle. This is personal. And when you hear where he's potentially landing, it's going to make your blood boil, or maybe just make you laugh from the sheer madness of it all.
Let's set the table. Think about the timing. The Sixers, under Nick Nurse, are crafting a whole new chapter. You've got young guns like Jared McCain showing flashes of something special, Tyrese Maxey growing into a leader right before your eyes, and the surprise additions, yeah, some controversial, building this unpredictable but intriguing roster. It feels like Philly's trying to reset without admitting it's a rebuild. But in the background, This other storyline is bubbling. Because while you're locked in on trade rumors, new contracts, Sixers news flashes about the future of Joel Embiid, someone else is lurking on the outside looking in. Not even in the league right now. Ghosting from roster to roster, disappearing as quickly as he showed promise, but now he's getting attention. And not from just any franchise, from a rival that knows exactly what kind of chaos this could stir. And here's where the twist gets nasty. The whispers aren't coming from rebuilding teams looking for a rehab project. No, they're coming from a contender, a team that wants to win now, a team with history, a team that would love to shove this move in your face every time they step onto the court with Philly. So what if I told you that New York, yeah, that New York, is reportedly making contact, reaching out, checking the temperature. The Knicks, the team that would love nothing more than to turn your pain into their headline. Imagine him walking into MSG, cheering like he's their next piece to a championship puzzle, while you sit there watching thinking, are they serious? Now let's be real. You probably thought his NBA days were numbered. The back injuries, the vanishing act and clutch moments, the collapse of confidence that felt like watching a star fade in real time. He couldn't stay healthy, couldn't shoot, couldn't lead. And when he left Philly, let's just say it wasn't on a thank you tour. Yet here we are, a few recent signs, insider whispers, and one bold report suggesting that this move might actually happen. You know what? It would be poetic in the worst way. The very player who refused to shoot in the paint during the playoffs, the one who turned your belief into frustration, possibly walking into a franchise that's trying to take over the East. So I ask you now, if this becomes real, how would you react? Would it make you mad? Would it make you laugh? Or would it just remind you of how far this guy has fallen and how far the Sixers have come without him? Some fans, yeah, believe it, were even floating the idea of bringing him back, saying it's low risk, he knows the system, he still has something left. But that wasn't you, right? Because you remember how it ended, and you know exactly why he can't walk through that locker room again. And maybe that's why this rumor hurts in a weird way. Not because you want him back, but because watching him go to them, it just doesn't sit right. So let me hear you. Do you think this potential move is just noise, or is it something that might actually shake things up in the East? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know if you agree, or if you think this is just a desperate gamble from a desperate team. And if you're a real one, a real Sixers fan, comment the word revenge down below so I know you stayed with me to this exact moment. Because yes, the name you've been waiting for, it's Ben Simmons. The player once expected to be the face of this franchise, now, potentially, the next player to put on a Knicks uniform. So if you want to stay locked into every piece of Sixers news, every crazy trade rumor, every twist and turn of this wild offseason, then you need to subscribe to this channel right now and click that bell. Not just because we cover it all, but because this is your team. And I'll be here every step of the way, breaking it all down for you, like only someone who gets what it means to bleed Sixers blue. Let's go.